All right. Welcome to another Living Freestyle game dev live stream, AMA Q&A. So we do this every Sunday and Wednesday morning, except last Wednesday I was completely missing in action. I apologize completely. I was under a multi-day fever with COVID and I literally did not know what day it was. So for anybody who did pop in, thank you, and again, my apologies. I have no idea. Like I said, I didn't even know what day it was. Anyways, tonight we still have some of the aftermath of COVID going, so hopefully my cough does not completely wreck all of our levels. We'll see how that goes. And also, I wanted to throw out there that we're kind of starting from scratch tonight. I've been thinking about it more and more, and I'm actually thinking that we need to cut bait. For anybody who has never been fishing, basically means we're going to basically cut off the current bait that we're using and swap to a new bait to try something different, see if we can catch a big fish. I have no idea why I know that, but anyways, so we're gonna cut bait and we're going to switch. I think we're going to switch to Lyra. There's a lot of very smart people at work who are basically talking about a lot of the really cool stuff that's being done inside the Lyra project. And what I don't want to do is, part of me wants to build it all, everything from scratch all over again, etc. But at the same time, we also may not ever get this done if we go about it that way. And there's just a lot that we just don't know at this point. So there's a lot out there that I don't even know that I don't know it yet. And so I think we're gonna switch to the Lyra project. And what that means is the stumbling is in full effect tonight, because finding your way around your own project and figuring out how things work is one thing. Trying to find yourself, find your way around some other people's brains, who are probably pretty dang smart. That's a whole other thing. And so I think we're gonna start small, and I thought we would start with seeing if we could even get a custom level up and running. So that's what we're gonna be doing tonight. This is by no means a video that you should be watching because you think I know what I'm doing, because I do not. But with that, as promised, we're gonna stumble through all this stuff together. I wanted to at least take a quick look and see if there were any questions from any of our previous Q&As. So let's take a look at that real quick. Your content, and it doesn't look like we had any questions from any of the previous Q&As. So with that, it's just chat and Lyra tonight. Now, if 0 people show up tonight, and you're watching this after the fact, I appreciate you watching this after the fact. We may end this early tonight because once again, I am definitely still under the weather. So, but let's let's hop into Lyra, man. So we'll set up get our screen left ready. Here's Lyra, and let me make sure I'm actually streaming the screen, because that's useful. All right, if you've never looked at Lyra, there's a lot going on, and some of this is going to be trying to figure out what we can get rid of, and what we want to keep around. So what do I mean by that? When you click play on Lyra, there's a load screen that happens, and we've got control, elimination, front end is the main menu of the game, the default experience, no gameplay, just examples. I want to look at that one in a second. Shooter gym, and the exploder. Destroy blocks, collect power-ups, and avoid getting exploded in this top-down party game. We we don't need a top-down party game. That's not what we're building. So we'll probably be deleting that. There's also this whole thing where we're loading into a level to load into a game. Let's see what this default map is. Oh, we're in the default map. The default map is where we're standing right now. Okay. Good to know. We know what elimination and control are. We've seen both those levels. Front end is the menu of the game. Okay. It just loads you straight into the Lyra thing. And when I quit, it drops me out. All right. And then this is the top, wait. The top-down shooter disappeared. I'm pretty sure we want to delete this one. And so what I'm thinking is, what we're going to do is, yeah, this is... Oh, it's a, okay, drop a bomb. I mean, that's... Okay, yeah, we don't need this one for sure. So let's quit the game. I don't think we should delete it though. I think what we should do is change the way we want this to work. And so remember what I said was the goal was to add our own level. And it says consider changing editor for load level at startup project settings, editor startup map. Interesting. When we play, the startup map is the default level. Here's what we're going to try to do tonight. And I doubt we're going to get through it all, but the way the Lyra project's been implemented, it's all modular. And it's all modular and it's all plugin based, which is the new hotness in Unreal 5. And I've been hesitating wrapping my head around it because for a lot of reasons, but I think we just have to hop in. So let's do that. Okay, so if we take a look at our menu, and let me bring up our chat just so that I can see when people hop in or not. Okay, so you'll notice that the way this is organized, and actually let me see if I can just bring up an actual content browser. Just so it's a little bit bigger for viewing. So we have all the content and then there's the plugins. Now, the plugins is kind of where all the example contents are. So you can see here we have top-down arena content, we have shooter maps content, we have shooter core content, all kinds of stuff. Loster, welcome tonight. What are you working on tonight? All right, so we have all these plugins. And like I said, I think what we're going to try to do is we're just going to try to implement a new map and we're going to do it as a plugin. So let's start by creating a folder, which not even that seems to be working right now. Why can't I right click in here? New folder. And this is going to, yeah. What is this doing in here? Oh, maybe I can't do this. Hold on. Horde Wars. Just wondering, just watching, I've yet to try exploring Lyra in depth. Yeah, it's crazy. Horde Wars. So, we're gonna try to drop this in the, oh, you can't copy anything into that folder. Okay, so problem numero uno. There's gotta be a way in Unreal Engine 5 to create new plugins. Okay, help us Loster or internet. Which one is it? All right, so common user plugin in Lyra, custom game mode tutorial. That's cool. A lot of these are videos. I don't really want to go into a video. There must be a way to add, unless this is write protected and I just don't realize it. Could be a very slow night. Plugins. Let's try taking a look at our project settings. I want to see what's listed in this plugin. Plugins is a whole new thing in Unreal Engine 5, and it's all about packaging and deploying stuff. So plugin templates, game feature, content only. Look at this. Create a new game feature plugin. Game feature plugin with code. Create a new game feature plugin with a minimal amount of code. Interesting. So I'm thinking that's what it is. The question is, how do we make one? New level? Nope. New project? Nope, that's not what we're looking for. Oh, interesting. Empty level. Do we, all right, let's hold on. Where is it? If we create a new level, where's it gonna put it? Should we just find out? Ah, okay, different. Yeah, okay, very good. Okay, so Loster's asking, for anybody who's just listening, didn't UE4 have plugins, and what about the stuff you can download for the marketplace? Aren't those plugins? The answer is yes, that is true, but it's almost like, and I hesitate in saying this, but it seems to be true, where they're reusing the same name. Okay, so there's two kinds of plugins now. Okay, the plugins that you're referring to in UE4, and maybe these plugins also existed in UE4. I didn't realize it if it did, but let me explain to you the differences, and then I think it'll all make sense. So in UE4, the plugins that you had, those were sections of code, right? Exactly. So it's more like features, but I think that's a term as well. Exactly. So the plugins in the UE4 and that you downloaded from this code that was written and compiled to be used and loaded at runtime that you could use, that is a plugin, a traditional sense of software encoding plugin. New, from what I can tell in UE5, is the idea of content plugins, where what you're doing is you're taking a piece of content that you can just plug in to use, and it's supposedly there, and this is just as I'm understanding from a bunch of my coworkers and things like that, it's supposedly there to help facilitate packaging, deployment, and all those things. So imagine that you ship your game and you have a new season come out, right? Rather than having to ship the whole thing again, if you have a plugin that's just the chunk of content that you want, you can just ship that as a self-contained package, and it keeps a lot of your distribution and packaging sizes down and all kinds of organizational stuff and everything like that. To be clear, I don't know. This is my first foray into the plugins in this world, so I'm trying to figure out how this works. Okay, so we just created a new level. That's interesting. Hopefully that makes sense, Loster. We got data layers and item layers and all this stuff. I'm actually just also kind of curious what they put in an open world level. Also, if I play here, does this work? No, it does not. Oh, it did. Oh, you fall off that map pretty fast. Hold on. That is very deceiving. Oh, you know what? You know what's happening? Other than Unreal might be crashing? Non-responsive. Exactly. Yeah, exactly, Loster. Alright, we didn't crash. That's good. Interesting thing is, you can walk right off the map with here. Did they change the hotkeys to view the nav mesh? Oh my goodness. This open world is huge. Look at the size of this thing. This is insane. Load selected cells. Was that a mistake? Did I not want to do that? Okay. Alright, this time I haven't fallen off the map yet. Interesting. Okay, this isn't the level that I would have wanted to have created, but you know what? It's fine. Let's just see if I save this. Where is it gonna go? Also, why is starting and stopping so slow? Save current level as. Where's it putting it? Oh, it's just sticking in the content folder. Okay, this is not what we're doing. All right, dude, Lobster, you are on this. Thank you. There we go. Okay, so window. Let's see if I got this right. So Lobster is saying if you go to the plugins list as normal, click add in the top left, then choose the option content only to make new game features. Okay, all right. Edit tools, plugins. All right, add. And then supposedly game feature content only. You're a genius. Thank you, Loster. Okay. Author. We don't really care about that. The plugin name. This is going to be Horde Wars content. Create the plugin. What? Deactivate the feature before editing the game feature to what? Actions? Asset manager. Oh wow. Game feature data. Do I have to do anything here? I think we should look at one of the other ones. Game features. Top-down arena. See what they did for shooter map. Shooter maps is installed, it's registered. Active, under active, loaded, registered, installed. Has an icon. It has two dependencies. Shooter core and Lyra example content. Okay. Okay. Let's do that. Can we do that? Asset manager. I don't see dependencies here. Primary asset types to scan. Not gonna worry about that. Actions. What does that do? Add ability. Oh, no, we're not gonna do that. We don't need that. Game feature. Okay, cool. Let's just save and browse this. Horde Wars content. Okay. So here we go, edit in our properties. And then we've got all of the same stuff and then dependencies. Ooh. Okay, let's do shooter core. Nope. Open this guy. We're going to do shooter core. And then we need, let's say okay. And top-down arena. What does this have for dependencies? Gameplay abilities. Okay. Lyra example content and Niagara. Why do you need? They must have a Niagara plugin that I haven't seen yet, and Lyra example. Okay, we'll add a couple of these things. Shooter maps. I'm wondering why doesn't this have gameplay abilities? Because I thought the shooter core. Does shooter core have gameplay abilities? Holy cow, shooter core's got a bunch of stuff. Yes, it has gameplay abilities. Alright. Alright, so Loster is all over the help tonight, so it should I've made a new folder in your plugins. Now I think you can start adding blueprints and stuff in there. Yes. Then all the stuff you make within the new game feature can be enabled to switch. Yeah, exactly. But I just wanted to make sure that I have all the dependencies set up. And so I think since we've got shooter core, let's add one more. Let's add the example content as well, just like we saw in the others. Okay, click OK. Version 1.0, sweet. And then let's, to you Losters point, let's check our see if we got a new plugin. We do. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. So remember what the goal was. Keep it simple, right? That's the goal. So in here we need a folder for we're gonna try to work like Epic works when we do this. So in here they're putting in maps. Also, by the way, a comment on that. Why do I want to work like Epic works right now? Some of that's true and some of that's false. There's certain ways, there's certain places that I'm probably going to deviate, and this is good and bad. So one of the nice things about working the way Epic works is that because they have UE5 coding standards and all those kinds of things, anybody, let's just fast forward to one day where this game is actually made some progress and people decide they want to help. Okay, it's good that I've used Unreal practices because then anybody who hops in to help, things will be pretty standard. Where I deviate from that, I will want to document it carefully. So one place that I personally like to deviate has to do with naming conventions. So you will see me breaking Unreal naming conventions. And that is because, for example, Epic's current naming convention stuff is, let's see if we can find one so we can discuss it. Let's take a look at their blueprint folder. So they put this B underbar in front of everything. Okay. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but it is wasted reading space for my eyes. In other words, it's also not the most important thing about whatever this is, at least in my humble opinion, for a couple reasons. First off, we can use filters. If I ever need to look for the blueprints, I can use filters to only show me the blueprints. So that's one thing. Second thing, I'm not saying we don't use the BP. I just think we put it at the end. And a lot of that comes from the way I was brainwashed in film and later in a bunch of game and stuff. And so one place that I will be deviating from the Epic standards and specifically will be around naming convention. So don't let that throw you if you see me doing that. But everything else, we're gonna try to keep it pretty close. So it looks like for their maps, they're calling them L underbar shooter gem. L, I imagine, stands for level. And they're putting them in a maps folder. So let's go to Horde Wars content, which is a horrible name. I didn't realize it would add content to the end of it. I wonder if I can change that. Can I change the name of my plugin? To game features, edit. Plugins. Nope, did not change it. Oh wait, it did. Hold on, it changed it, but hold on. It changed it, but not. Okay, it took a second to take effect. Okay, cool. All right, so what we're gonna do in here is we're gonna create a new folder called Maps, because again, that's what Epix is doing for their organization. And then in our Maps folder, let's create a new level. And we're gonna call this Combat Gym? What do you think? Combat Gym? Combat test level, AI test level, combat gym. underbar L for level. Okay. And now let's edit this level. Yeah, save. Okay, and we're going to need to put some stuff in this level so it has some stuff. All right, so okay, they also do a whole lot of like level loading stuff and everything like that. So there's our builds. We need to go to modeling mode. Actually, do I want modeling mode or do I want? Yeah, we'll try modeling mode. Let's create a box. Can we drop in? Wait, hold on. Do we have access to Lyra starter content in here? I think we do. Lyra example content, materials and mega scans. That's the material tool. I don't think that actually has what we want, so we're not gonna worry about that. There is I think what I'll get for next time is there's a whole plugin, actually, to Loster's earlier point, or pack, starter pack that you can get in, I believe it's the Unreal Marketplace. It has really cool default setups for levels. Oops. Okay. Let's check where this thing is. Oh, we got, hold on, let's delete that one, delete this one. We got our box. All right. And it is at 0 and 0. And then we'll move it down. And we need to do something about the material just so we can even see what we're looking at. And then lit is unlit. Ah, thank you. Whew. Couldn't even see what we were working with. That is some serious pink right there. I don't know if I have my checker in here yet. I do not have a checker. Bummer. Is there any checker anywhere in the entire project? There's a depth checker. No. Okay, we'll stick with solid materials, but there's a couple of materials that I was using. Ground floor material, let's use that. There we go, we get a checker. Where does this live, by the way? This lives in top-down arena content, which is not part of our plugin. And what does this use? Absolute world positions, masking, texture samples. The texture sample that it's using is rubber blue, which lives in, okay, interesting. That's just colors. Grid projections and absolute world position. Okay, so let's go back to our deal and let's see what they're doing for materials. So top-down arena has shooter core content, blueprint, effects, elimination, games, maps, etc. Interesting the way they're breaking this down. Blueprint, game, those are all the emotes and everything. Bots is their experience. Oh, that's the shooter core. Shooter maps, just gameplay cues. And then the top down just has gameplay cues, maps, systems, and user interface. It's interesting because then everything else is in this content folder stuff. We got heroes, characters, all of that. I don't. It's interesting to me that they have content plugins, but then all of this stuff sits in this content folder, as opposed to within the. All right. Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a folder called. Do we want to do environment materials or materials environment? I think we want to do environment, and then we'll do materials. New folder, materials, and then let's take this material and copy it to our new location because we want to keep our stuff separate. So, I mean, that's kind of the whole point. And this is just going to be a dummy until, all right, and then we can use that to fill in. Okay, cool. Yeah, exactly. So, Lolster, that is an L, right? Lolster. I hope I've been saying that right. If not, I apologize. So Lolster's like, yeah, that's odd. What separates the shooter core content from general content? Let's expand this up and see. Actually, it's a good question. Okay, so if we close down all of our plugins folder, shooter core content is, it looks like they've got backloads, blueprints, bots, elimination. Interesting thing is there's no like art. I don't see any materials or anything like that in the shooter core content. Then there's a Lyra example content plugin folder that has Megascans materials and Megascan presets. Here's the interesting thing. I looked at this earlier. All right, there's not a whole lot in here. The materials folder is basically like a small handful of materials, and the Megascans is only a couple of the surfaces. It's just the dirty wall concrete and one other one. So I'm thinking maybe they just did that as an example. But then the large portion of all of the art and everything is all in this just regular content folder. So character, heroes, abilities, here's all the mannequins and everything. I'm surprised that this isn't or wasn't done as a plugin. So you know what? It might be interesting. It might be interesting just from a development standpoint if what we do is as we build, and this is gonna develop over time. We're gonna have to move this stuff around as we learn. But basically, we have our core content, which is all like the gameplay and abilities and all those kinds of things, and then we have our art content. And so it might be worthwhile to, if we're gonna embrace this whole plugin thing, to see if or I wouldn't be surprised later if we actually have art content, as we go through releases and stuff like that. So for now, let's just get our first plugin and map up and running, or if we can, and go from there. So we need to duplicate this guy, scale it up, make some walls. Nothing too crazy. Your standard box level, right? And perfection, right? Very painful to look at, but that's okay. All right, so, and then we won't be able to play this because there's no player start on this level. We got nothing, we got 3 boxes. So let's take these 4 and group these as walls. Can I group these? This is gonna be walls. And And then this guy's gonna be the floor. Oh, that was an F1 on accident. Floor. Okay. Okay, now this is all gonna be walls and floor. Probably have to group these into gameplay as well. And then let's see here. If we look at, let's take a look at a different level. See if we can't cheat this a little bit. So in our shooter core, they have a shooter gym map. All right, if we open this one, let's save our content so we can get back to it. Now, we've been doing over the last few weeks and months a lot of work with AI. That work is not lost. What we'll do is, if we can get set up in a way where we're using the Lyra starter as a core backbone, that is good, what we'll do is we'll take some time to bring that stuff back over into this new project. Okay, so these are Lyra player starts, and the Lyra player start is actually source code. It is not something that we're just dropping in. Okay. Interesting. Is there anything in our level blueprint is what I'm looking for from a word standpoint. Build, select, actor. I don't think so. Those are sequence. Oh, I hate it when it does that. All right. So basically, we just need a Lyra player start. By the way, if I just press, if I do play from here, in here, what happens? It loads Lyra. Oh, we're in it. Okay, cool. I'm dead. This game's really hard, by the way. Especially if you're playing with a Wacom tablet. Alright, so let's go back to our level and see if we can get a Lyra player start in there. Whoa, generated content. Okay, and let's do a player start. I don't want just any player start. I want a Lyra player start. Yeah, that's not the one I want. Let's delete that. Actor? Nope. Browse the asset? Nope. Place actor? Nope. There's gotta be... Interesting. I wonder if... Do I even have access to Lyra? I do. Gameplay. Interesting. Blueprint class. Lyra character. Game modes. Interesting. Lyra character, the base character. All classes. Lyra. Player. Controller. Player state. There's a player start. It inherits from player start, which makes sense. Oh, interesting. That's kind of weird. New blueprint. What happens? Nothing. Either nothing or we didn't get that right. My guess is we didn't get that right. So let's just try. I want to see something here. Play from here. Yeah, so Lyra doesn't know how to load this. Okay, this is what I was afraid of. And if, by afraid, what I mean is knew was going to be a fun challenge this evening. Let me bring back our chat. Yeah, let's try that. So Loster's like, let's just search for player start and see if it's already in here. Player start? Yeah, it's not. Nothing comes up. Now, what's interesting is this is showing as a blueprint, which I actually don't really like because that's not the way theirs was showing. I don't want this in here either. Yeah, forcibly. Play from here, level. You know what? Let's try this. Let's play now. Nope. But what's interesting is, if you look over here in the right, when we play, there is stuff being spawned. Let's take a look at what's being spawned here. So these are not things that I've added, okay? There's a Lyra game mode, a simple hero pawn, camera actors, floors. Floor, that was our floor. Game network manager, game session, player state. Like there's a lot of stuff that's being spawned. So you'll see when we stop, all that goes away. Interesting. Okay. Oh man. So that's a player start. There's gotta be something. Let's look at the game mode. Game mode. Game mode. Alright, the Lyra game mode and the immunity from game mode. Okay. Alright, so let's take a look at this Lyra game mode. We have a game session, a game state, player controller, player state. The HUD, the character, spectator spawns, and Lyra replay controllers. Those don't seem unreasonable. And that also doesn't seem like anything that would prevent us from starting our game. What's in this game session? Oh, interesting. You explore to it and there's nothing there. Lyra game session. What? That's weird. What the heck? That doesn't even show up. Game state? What? Are these hidden somehow? None of these are showing up. Lyra HUD? Also not showing up. Lyra character. It's not browsing to these assets. Something's going on. Because I know these things exist. If we look for a Lyra character. Oh, wait, what? There is no Lyra character here. Oh my god. Honestly, this was why I was waiting to do this, because as much cool stuff as is going on in Lyra, there's part of me that's like, why make this so complicated? Everything's modular, everything's pluggable, everything's like from a learning curve standpoint, good god. Okay. Okay, so here's our default hero. From what I can tell, I don't even know if it's being used. And here's our simple hero pawn. Being used by simple pawn data, which is being used by the default experience. Okay, I remember reading about this. Lyra uses experiences. Gameplay features, actions, UI. But what determines how these experiences open? There's gotta be something in the level. Because when I load the shooter gym, if we go to shooter maps and we load just, actually let's just check maps in core, and we look at the shooter gym, sure, we can say that there's no rocket surgery here. It's loading the shooter gym. It is taking its sweet time. Okay, so let's see if we can break down what's going on in this shooter gym. We've got atmospheric fogs, weapon spawners, a bunch of cubes, light sources. We should probably put in a light source in ours. That would probably be a good idea. We've got a bunch of Lyra player starts. How are they getting these in here? I do not know. Interesting. Copy actor file path. What is this? Let's just see something here. Notepad. Notepad. What is this file path? Plugin shooter core content maps left shoot. What? That's pointless. It doesn't help us at all. Okay, so anyways, we got some starters. We got our nav mesh bounce. We gotta throw that in. That would be a good one. And then some text and some spheres. Okay, these are our starters. And we looked at the details. They're just capsule inputs. Lyra player start. These are all the cheats. Replication. Nothing crazy going on there. Pretty standard. So let's new empty blueprint to open blueprint class. Open the level blueprint. All right, our level blueprint is pretty empty. There's nothing here. Okay. Game mode. Game mode. Default game mode is the B Lyra game mode. All right. The B Lyra game mode does what? Wait, where'd that go? We already looked at this. There's nothing helpful. All right. Man. All this just to load a map. Pretty crazy. Yeah. So that's at the top level. Actually, the /game folder is it's the default level. It's the default folder for content. So you'll notice like /game in Unreal maps to the content folder. So in this case, you'll see here the Lyra game mode is in the content. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's put in a nav volume at least. Smaller landscape brush fractured landscape. No. Remind me how I put in a volume? I thought it was just right click. Place actor. Well, we know we want a directional light, so let's at least get that in there. Okay, that's fine. We'll just do this. Okay. And then cube plus button. Oh, thank you. I am so glad you're here tonight. Volumes, we want a nav mesh bounds volume. And let's, why would it show up there? I have no idea. Let's get that down now. Oh, look at that. Our nav mesh is actually generated now. That's something. Whew. Some kind of progress. Okay. I know, oh dude, did you see that? We fell. Okay, quit, stop playing around. We just needed light and a nav bounds, I guess. Wait, okay, so hold on. So let's see if we can get, oh man, we have 8 minutes left. We may go a little over. I thought I was gonna end early tonight because I've been so sick, but you know, actually doing work is good. All right, so let's see here. Characters, content. What we want to try to figure out is how to place not the player start. Place actors panel. Ooh. Ooh. Is there a Lyra player start in here? Oh, look at that. We found it. Dude, lost her. We found it. Look at that. Oh. Okay. So let's drop in a Lyra player start. I have no idea where I mean, I know where this lives. It's in code, right? And we have the code, and that's fine. But for some reason, it just wasn't coming up in the right click drop down. So I had to bring up the full placement thing. So let's see, if we play now, do we start? Oh, look at that, dude. I cannot believe it. Holy cow, we have a level. Ah, whew. I didn't think we were gonna get this far. I know this seems like basic, but this is all nuts, the way this is all set up. It's such a different way of thinking about this stuff. That is some bright light though, isn't it? Quit the game. Yes. Okay, that's weird that it goes back to that menu. Oh, we have so much work to do now. Okay, we don't need shooter maps. We don't need shooter core. We're looking at our maps. And let's take, what happens if we don't have a light in here? Do we, is it just dark? Oh, it's pretty dark. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay, so we do need our light. So let's bring back our light. Lights. How about just a skylight? just pick whatever default. What? There's no... Here we go. Cube map. There's no default cube maps for us. Bummer. Alright, we'll just stick with that. Whatever. Let's just see if we have lights now that aren't so harsh. Ambiguous path search. Negatory. We are not doing that. So I watched a whole tutorial on the new skylight stuff. So it's interesting that alright. Man, look at how just shiny this is. Okay. I mean, look, we got a map and we can move around. That's something. I mean, that's some progress. It's more than I thought we were gonna get to today. So I think what I would like to do is let's see, check this out. It's gonna blow your mind. Window ENV light mixer. Then you just click to add major light and skylight. Okay, that's probably the tutorial I watched, because it was like I was like, man, it was one click. All right, directional light. Window ENV light mixer, and then create atmospheric light, create skylight, create sky atmosphere. Which one do you think we want? Okay, I created a skylight. Let's see if we have light. Our skylight is dark, so it's not the skylight that we want. Let's create the sky atmosphere, I think it is. Wait, do I have to add it? No, it's there. Interesting. So, create atmospheric light. Alright, well, creating the atmospheric light worked. It's definitely better. And then, what's this recast nav mesh? Did I just break us? No, I did not. All right, so we have a sky atmosphere. We have a directional light. If we kill our directional light, we're back to black. We got nothing. Stop the play and just kill the sky atmosphere. You did all of them? You just clicked every button? I love it. Okay, let's just do that. Let's just go. 1, 2. Okay, I just did them all. What would Lolster do? We got clouds, we got atmosphere. All right. I mean, it works. Oh yeah, actually you're right. I am in unlit mode. I forgot. I did that because I couldn't see. So lit. Okay. There we go. Nice. Are you working on a game, Lolster, as well? Or do you work in games? You definitely seem to know Unreal. Okay. So that's pretty cool. We have a map. It has a start point. Here's what I'm thinking. I would like to try to connect our map to the default Lyra starter content. So when you walk through the portal, you walk into our map. I'm thinking that'll be a goal, and I'm hoping that it's fairly straightforward. We will give this one try right now. Multiplayer CTF type game called Trophy Towers. Very cool. Capture the flag, huh? And what do you know what platforms you're gonna go to or anything like that yet? Okay, so real quick, we are going to try one thing. We're going to do shooter maps. Where's the default map? That's the one we're looking for. Let's just search for it. Default map. All right, this is. Wait, is this the one? Save this thing. Got it. Okay, so here's our default map. Now the interesting thing is, I don't see. Yeah, this is why I was thinking this was gonna be fun, because even though when we look at this default map, when we press play in here, we have these portals. They're not actually here. So these are either being generated, they're either being generated. See, we only, and I'm looking at our level, we only have one persistent level. So they're either being generated like programmatically, or they're in the level blueprint. So common user subs to try to initialize for local play. Oh, that's N for network. Okay, nothing there. So it's not being done in the level blueprint. So how in the heck are those things getting loaded? Ah, experience list. Look at this. There's an experience list. And interesting. Okay. Here's our B experience list. And in our experience list, we have no. Okay, so there's no listing of experiences here. So it must be somewhere else. So if we look at this B experience list 3D, the class defaults are not particularly interesting. We have a user-facing experience list, additional experiences to show. Okay. And then we're gonna get the asset IDs, and then we're gonna go through for each one. And for each one, we're gonna cast it to a Lyra user-facing experience definition. And they're gonna insert default experiences at the front and add the rest at the end if we want to show all of them. Okay. So that's just basically taking the list and dropping them in an array. And then for every single one of these things in an array, we're spawning a teleport actor to the user-facing experience based on the experience portals. And this is all the locations. Okay, so we found where they're programmatically doing this. Cool. What we're not having, or what we have not found, is this experience list does not seem to have any default inputs on it. Because see, there's no additional experiences specified. Ooh. But could we add one? Hold on, and what are the default experiences? User facing, cast a Lyra, get the primary ad, user facing is clearing at async primary load list. How do we know if it's default? User facing experience list has nothing. Additional experiences to show. Show all experiences is a Boolean checkbox. Net on client load. Include can be damaged. What? That doesn't even make any sense. Show. That's like, oh, hold up a second. Is this show all experiences public? No, it's not. Okay, it's default checked to true. That's why. So we're gonna show them all. Oh gosh. Get primary asset list. Lyra user facing experience definition. Okay. Experience definition. Okay. Convolution. Front end. Top down. Okay, so where does this live? Show in folder view. Top-down experience lives under systems in the shooter map content. Why? Oh no, it's not. It's in the top-down content and it's under system. And under experiences, there's a top-down experience. Okay, we're not gonna get through all this tonight. I do. As much as I've been fighting switching to Lyra, I do actually think this is going to end up being a good thing. We are going to be stumbling through this a lot. Let me do this. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. I think ultimately this is going to be a good thing. There's going to be a few sessions of us working through this, just stumbling through this a lot. It's just the way it's going to be. But we're already starting to kind of find our way around in the Lyra project. What I'm anticipating is we're going to just go through this step by step. We're going to get our level set up. We're going to get it so we can teleport to our level. We can start the game. We can do our testing. We want to get to being able to test the game that we want to build first. So once we get our level, once we do that, we'll probably go about setting up our player. Controllers, all those things, re-getting all of our animation blueprints over. I'm going to have to make a decision as to whether or not we're going to use the old animation blueprints or just the default Lyra ones. We'll have to take a look at how much authoring has been done in the Lyra stuff and going from there. So next time I think we're going to get the teleporter set up and we're going to start trying to figure out when we do teleport how to make it so that it's an actual pawn. I know how it's done. It's in the sense that it's a modular pawn. We just have to figure out how to load it and stuff like that. Again, I apologize for missing last Wednesday. Thanks to COVID and crazy fevers, I had no idea what day it was. Lost her, dude. I cannot thank you enough for all your help tonight. I don't even think we would have gotten this far without a whole bunch of your research and dropping in tips and stuff like that. And that's why we're doing this like this, because everybody chimes in and helps out, and it's very cool. We will see you all Wednesday morning. Again, we do these things Sunday nights and Wednesday mornings to cover the streams. And we'll be back in Lyra Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock. Have a great night. Take it easy, Loster. Don't stay up too late.